Hello everybody, my name is Zen, and welcome back to more Diablo Immortal Closed Beta coverage. I'm really looking forward to this one because we're going to talk about monetization in the closed beta, and I'm actually here in the game. You can see I'm moving around and everything. In fact, I actually have my controller hooked up. Oh man, I love controller support in this game. It's great. Let's jump in. So the in-game shop is very fascinating. There's a lot going on, and we're just going to very slowly go over everything. The thing that I want to mention is that I think as a person who will really jump into the game and absorb a lot of it, especially once it releases and then continuously after release, because I love Diablo and this is what I do, I think that there are two necessary purchases a month. So think of it kind of like a subscription game in that sense. And they're not necessary as in you have to get them, but they are nice to have. The first is there's like a monthly bundle that you can get. And then the second is a battle pass. So let's actually just show you what the battle pass is in case you've never seen the battle pass before. I gotta get to my codex. Essentially, it is a thing that levels up. So you can see like off on the left-hand side on the top over here, I've got like scrap materials that I can get and hilts and stuff. Now the scrap materials actually pretty nice to be able to get because you're going to use this to be upgrading your gear. If you didn't know, in Diablo Immortal, when you get a piece of like rare gear or better, you can invest materials into it to make it better, make your gear more powerful. And when you pick up a new piece of gear, you can transfer that power onto the new piece of gear. So for example, if I go into my inventory here, I've got this new staff, this legendary staff that I got, or hammer rather, and it's got an effect for command skeletons. Damage is increased by 10%, but the one I have is corpse explosion damage is increased by 10%. You know what? I kind of like the corpse explosion one more, but as you can see, my weapon over here is rank 4. You can see that on the top near the icon for it. And I could equip this other one, and if I do, I can transfer everything over. It's as simple as that. It's really nice. Now, the thing is, when you upgrade your gear... now I got to get back to the the battle pass. I went to the shop instead. So when you use your scrap materials and whatnot to upgrade your gear, obviously it gets rid of all of them. Same thing with enchanted dust. And there's also a legendary material and stuff. So basically, this stuff that you're getting on the top row of this battle pass, when you get battle pass points, you see on the bar on the top, I've got 88 out of 160. You gain battle pass through a huge amount of different things in the game. So, for example, here, if I do the Destruction's End dungeon, I'm going to gain 10 battle pass points. Okay. But there's other things you could do. Like I could go do a bestiary thing, which I'm not going to go into details of what that is, but essentially I get 2 times battle pass points for completing one of those today. So I'd get 40 battle pass points, which is really nice. I could do Elder Rift or bounties or dungeons and whatnot. And the thing is, if I do dungeons that like this is the featured activity for the day, the bestiary one, but sometimes it's a dungeon that's the featured activity, and you can just like run it and get a bunch of battle pass points, and then allow your battle pass to level up. As you level up, you go from left to right, so that, you know, obviously the one on the far left, 1, 2, 3 as it goes along, and if you have the free version of the game, right? You haven't purchased the battle pass, the empowered battle pass. You're just getting the top stuff, which is pretty good. You're actually getting quite a lot for it. If you get the bottom one, so if you buy it, it's $5, you get a couple cool things. So like the first thing you get is like a legendary gem, which is actually pretty nice to have right off the bat. Increase chance to find magical items by 10%. Heck yeah. Love that, but it unlocks at rank 5, so you gotta level it up. So basically, you're just like getting each attack you make against an enemy increases the damage it takes from your attacks, which is like Bane of the Stricken from Diablo 3. You get some Scoria, which you're gonna need. You get a choice of gems. Literally, it pops up and it says, which of these color gems do you want? You get to choose. You get 3 of them. Rare crests, which are for rifts. You get another legendary gem, and you could see like this stuff isn't necessary. You can get basically all of this stuff just by playing the game normally, but you're going to speed it up a significant amount if you actually go through and do this. So you're going to like get legendary crests, or like at level 10 on the free version, you get a legendary weapon. But if you get the empowered version, you also get the legendary crest, which is really nice. If you purchase it, and let's say you were like at 15, right? And so instead of getting the Twilight Wanderer chat emoji, which is amazing that chat emojis are in there, I don't know, I'm a sucker for that. You could see that Selede's weakening gem is here. So if you missed it on the first one, you can get it here, or you can get a second one if you get it here, which is important for leveling up your legendary gems. Not something I'm going to get into. But like, let's say you're at 15 and you hadn't purchased the Empower Pass, and then suddenly you purchase it, you would have all this stuff unlocked. So it is nice to have that. This changes monthly. So every month it seems to be a new battle pass. So you can see ends in 24 days, 5 hours. That may change in the future, but as of the closed beta, that is their current time frame on it. Okay, so that's like the big purchase that I think I would recommend making every month, and that's $5, which honestly, not that bad. To be completely fair, not that bad. The other thing that I think is important is this, like, see if I can find it. I don't actually know if it'll show up if I've already purchased it, so that's something to consider. It's not, but there is like a bundle that gives you, maybe it's this? No, it's not the Forgotten Trove. All right, I'm not seeing it here, but it's a bundle that gives you an immediate amount of resources. So you get, I think it's 300 Eternal Orbs, which is why I have 300. And then from there, you get stuff every day. So every time I log in, I get some crests, which is nice because these rare crests are used for Elder Rifts. You empower them. It adds a modifier, but it says completing the Elder Rift has a guaranteed chance to yield runes. So by putting more and more crests in, or legendary crests, or whatever it is, you're basically just making the Rift more rewarding for you. So I get those every day because I have like a certain pack. You could just buy crests straight up. So I have these orbs that I can use, right? I could buy 1 or I could buy 10 crests. Legendary crests are a bit more expensive. So if you were like, I really just want to do a lot of rifts, which at the end game, I should say, you're going to have a whole slew of activities to do. And there's a whole system in the game that we'll talk about in a separate video about a world paragon level, which is essentially a paragon cap that increases by 2 every day. And it allows people to catch up to that cap without feeling like they have to completely no life the game. It does also do a interesting balance approach to the end game. Like if you're in the end game, you're going to expect to have been at the paragon cap to, be like hyper competitive, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to, but it's just something to consider. Paragon levels work a little different than they do in Diablo 3. But yeah, you can buy the crests here, as you can see, with these orbs. And these orbs, so if I get more, I could just spend money to buy orbs. So you could see that 60 are worth $1, 315 are worth $5. You're getting the extra 15 because you're getting 5% more, but each one gives you more percentage. So like if I get the $25 one, I get 10% more. The $50 one, I get 15% more. It is what it is. You can also buy platinum. So this is used in specialty shops and services, including crafting legendary gems, which you can do. You can just craft legendary gems. You could buy platinum as well with orbs, right? So this is kind of like the typical like in-game currency thing that a lot of free games do. So you have crests, you have orbs, you have platinum. Those are like the 3 main things that you could buy as currencies, although the crests are used in actual games. So you can also straight up just buy certain materials if you don't want to go and farm them. This would be more convenient for, let's say, a player who just wants to do the average amount of stuff per day and doesn't want to go and farm, or just doesn't have the time to go out and farm and just wants to speed up their progress a little bit. Being able to pick up some of these would be nice. This stuff is just reforging stones. Didn't mean to tap on that. Fat fingered the actual Ravager stone than the little icon there in the corner. So these are, again, just stones. You have bundles. Now, the thing is, this is it. So I get this free daily reward from this bundle that I have. And this is what I get every day. So it goes free daily from one of the following. So I either get gold, I get scrap materials, I get enchanted dust, or I get a glowing shard. This is used also for upgrading your gear. You get this if you like scrap a legendary item. It's kind of like Forgotten Souls. So I get that. I get one of those every day I log in because I bought that particular bundle, which gave me the orbs. When you complete certain dungeons, you will gain a one-time box that gives you a bunch of stuff. I completed the Forgotten Tower trove, or the Forgotten Tower, so I get the trove for it, which is a plus 560% thing. It gives you a bunch of stuff. So you would get 60 eternal orbs, a legendary crest, a rare crest, or a couple rare crests, and then some gems. 6 gems, indeed, which is quite nice. And then I recently did the Tomb of Fahir, so this is now opened up. You notice how the first one's only 99 cents? This one is 199, but it gives you 120 eternal orbs, a legendary crest, 5 rare crests, and 12 gems. It's actually pretty nice. And honestly, $2, 99 cents. Yeah, you know what? That's kind of worth it. That's not a bad deal. It's not necessarily nickel and diming you. And then finally you have so you have the services. So this is the battle pass, and then the boon is what I'm talking about. That's what it's called. The boon of the plenty. It's this like monthly thing. So I have 28 days remaining on this. I got the 300 orbs. I get bonus market trade slots. Basically you can go and sell things on the market for gold, and that's really nice. So if you have, some additional stuff that you need to sell, you could sell it off there. That is located in Westmarch, and other players can buy it. And then I got an additional stash storage, which is really nice. And then every day I log in to get that. So, yeah, that's really nice. Now, I've already mentioned the battle pass, and I've already mentioned the currencies. So the big thing that we have to talk about here is, for one, just to remember, this is the beta. This is the closed beta. Things may change. Prices may change. If you're in the closed beta now and you purchase something, your account will be credited that amount when the game launches. So basically the closed beta ends, everything is wiped, including everything you spent money on. So when the game launches, whatever you had spent during the closed beta, you will have that on your account to use. So it is kind of a nice way to be able to test this out and guaranteed, like, I'm going to be putting, so-and-so amount into the game. But I don't actually see a reason for the average player to buy anything more than the battle pass. The boon thing, what is it called? Boon of the plenty is really nice to have. But is it necessary? No, not really, but it is really nice to have. So if there's one thing I would recommend, it would be the battle pass. I think as a player who is going to go ham and is going to play the heck out of this game, there is one thing to consider, and it's that World Paragon level that I talked about. Eventually, as a player who no-lifes the game, you are going to reach a point in which there isn't much for you to do per day outside of doing bounties and basically reaching your cap for that day. And that's it. It's kind of like logging into an MMO and doing daily quests, except you're also dealing with things like the Cycle of Strife if you're interested in PvP, or just getting on leaderboards for challenge rifts and stuff like that. Outside of that, though, if you're not an end game farming player who's going to no-life the game and get to that point where you're going to log in and only have a couple things to do per day per character if you really want to, then there's no reason for you to spend any money on this stuff either way, unless you really, really want to get to that point. If you really, really want to catch up with the end game players, you can speed up that progress a bit by doing this. But there is a cap that all players will eventually hit, and that Paragon cap is slowly given to you, per day. So you're getting +2 Paragon per day, and that means that it kind of gives a nice curve across the board for players. You're never feeling like you have to no life the game. The game gives you an opportunity saying, hey, you can go do other things. There's other games out there that you could go play. Guess what? They're really good games too. You could play Diablo 3 with each season. So let's say, the next season's coming up, and you really want to go ham on the season. You could totally do that. But at the same time, you can also be doing your daily stuff in this and stay caught up. It allows you to do both. And I think that's the sign of a strong mobile game. One that doesn't necessarily want you to no life it, but gives you an opportunity to do as much as you want to do. And then when you reach that cap of like, I'm not gaining much more rewards, there's diminishing returns, then I could go do other things. If you're a new player coming into the game, there's some incentives here to purchase some stuff outside of the battle pass and the boon of the plentiful. But that's totally up to the player. They could just farm it out and catch up regardless. It's not that they're never going to catch up. It's that they're going to catch up regardless. It's just how quickly they catch up, whether they spend money or not. So that's kind of where the monetization stands at the moment. For me, it seems really fair. I recently entered game design, and I think that once you work in the industry in that way, you start kind of seeing things slightly differently, and this monetization for me seems really fair. I could see how for others they may have problems here and there with certain things, but for the most part this is really good as far as a mobile game is concerned, and I'm really proud of what they've seemed to have accomplished with this. Honestly, I've said this from the beta, from the closed beta, or the closed alpha, and then the technical alpha. The battle pass is such a cool idea. I love the battle pass for this game. I think it works really well. And I love the idea of coming in and just unlocking this stuff as you go. It's really exciting to me. I know it's super nerdy, but it is exciting to me as a player to come in and try to get all this stuff unlocked. And I think that, getting cool things like chat emojis is really cool. And honestly, as a person who plans on getting the Empowered Battle Pass each month, that's just a little bit of an icing on the cake. Like, I'm already going to get it, and now I get really cool stuff for it too. And that's that. I don't think there's much more to say about it at the moment. If you guys have any questions on how the monetization works, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'm actually eager to hear your guys' thoughts. So also tell me like what you think of this so far. Is this, to you, does this feel pretty standard mobile game? Does it feel a little more fair than the standard mobile game, or does it seem a little less fair? Are you concerned with, buying power? Because it's technically non-existent in the fact that there is this cap that you will eventually hit along with every other player, and then you're kind of on the same leveling field there, or level field rather. I'm really curious just everybody's thoughts on this. For me, personally, without going and looking at anybody else's thoughts, I like it. I think it's fair. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they can do. And here's one last little nugget to send out there. There has been discussion that I think personally I've talked to other creators about this, and just off the cuff have heard things as well that this is basically a live service game if you consider it that way, and they are going to need more content in the future. So things like new classes and whatnot can just become like the Necromancer pack for Diablo 3, for example. Maybe they add the rogue from Diablo 1 and Diablo 4 into Diablo Immortal. Cool. That seems like a cool character class. Let's get it in there. $10 or $15 or whatever. I can totally see them doing that, and that might be something that they do more in the future, or just kind of like content expansions in the future. Is also something that I could see popping up on the store. So again, let me know your thoughts on that kind of stuff as well, because I'm curious to see, would you actually just buy a class that you're really interested in, or would you not want to do that? Do you feel like there should always be a way to gather resources in the game and spend it on the store? Or do you feel like there should be things that are purely money driven because, it is a business after all? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more Diablo Immortal goodness. There'll be a bunch more coming. I'm still working on that Necromancer video, and we shall see you guys next time.